lately, the news has been filled with pharma, the trade association that represents the pharmaceutical industry, as well as individual pharmaceutical companies like Merck and Bristol Myers, as well as the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, have engaged in bringing some class action suits against the IRA and against constitutional and fiduciary concerns that they have.
Yeah.
What do you see as the impact that these suits may have on the rollout of the IRA and its implementation?
Well, they're definitely going to be part of the implementation process for, I think, at least a few years to come, maybe longer, as these multiple challenges work their way through the courts. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of them, if there are, some areas where there might be differences in views across judges, eventually make it to the Supreme Court, and that could be a little while. The challenges that you're seeing now, as you said, are constitutional. Some of them are around free speech. I'm not sure those are really going to go anywhere. I mean, the companies can still, for the most part, say what they want. As I mentioned before, there was a CMS proposal saying you couldn't, a company couldn't release their own documents on their negotiation. I don't think that's actually going to stick. I don't think that's the best policy for CMS to follow. But by the same token, just because the law calls this a fair price doesn't mean, you have to believe it, and it doesn't mean you can't, say that you disagree. So I'm not sure that particular challenge is really going to work. The ones that seem like they might have a better chance are ones related to takings and ones related to due process. And this is like the Fifth Amendment, the Eighth Amendment. I'm not the lawyer, but having talked with a lot of them, this basically amounts to your view on whether the penalty or the hammer that CMS is allowed to apply in these negotiations, which gets to be a large part or all of your revenues in the United States, at least from the Medicare program, if you're a drug manufacturer, is too big. Is that an unfair taking? And on the side of supporters of the law, it's like, well, you don't have to participate in this program. As well, on the flip side, well, you kind of do if you're going to be in the U.S. market at all. And you may remember back with the Affordable Care Act, there was a provision for Medicaid, which essentially said that you state, if you're going to participate in the Medicaid program at all, you have to in an expanded Medicaid program to adults up to 135% poverty. And the Supreme Court, that went to the Supreme Court, and Judge Roberts led a decision in that case that didn't eliminate the law, but it eliminated the ability of CMS to use that leverage point to get at that particular aspect of the law. So I think people are putting odds in at different levels, but I think that's the kind of complaint that's worth watching, and we'll see how it plays out. And then there will be another round of litigation, not just these constitutional challenges, once CMS starts actually implementing the law and has an administrative process around negotiation where people will find fault with that. CMS got a lot of legislative flexibility to not follow usual notice and comment rulemaking. So the debates there will be fought out in court over whether CMS was doing enough under the law, or whether it's cut the administrative process corners too much. So watch for those legal challenges in the next year or two as well.